Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective. And today we are going to be talking about, actually, the Surface Pen. Now, the reason that the Surface Pen is getting a separate video is for a number of reasons. The first is, for those of you that do not know, the original Surface Book actually included the pen, but with the Surface Book 2, the pen was an additional add-on, and I believe there are other Surface products where you could purchase the Surface and you got all the stuff included. However, in more recent editions, the pen is a 130 Canadian dollar extra on top of it, and I kind of felt at the time that if I didn't get the pen, I wasn't going to be getting the full Surface experience. So I did purchase the pen with the laptop, and I'd like to share with you some conclusions that I've had over several days of use with it. If you are a person that actually needs to purchase the pen, or if you are safe to go without it. So the very first thing I want to mention is a full disclosure. I am, first off, not an artist, so therefore when it comes to the pressure sensitivity of the pen, I really don't have a very strong opinion on that. If you would like more information about that, Lisa from Mobile Tech Reviews and other channels have covered the artistic ability of the pen. I'm looking at this as a more or less regular user. Now, there are a couple of advantages. The very first one is the ability to do diagrams. So I have a shortcut set up where if I press and hold the pen, I can draw diagrams, and it's actually very responsive. And this is just a basic tool that's built in. But when I need to quickly explain something using visuals, then this is actually very, very helpful. So it could be anything from electron diagrams, and any of you that know chemistry will know that's wrong. Things like that. That being said, it's very easy to do. You've got colors, you've got different things that you can use, and that's not even without going into OneNote and other applications like that. So that is particularly useful indeed. You've also got taking notes if you're a person that prefers to write by hand. I was never one of those types, but there has been a time or two where I've used Office Lens to take a picture of something and actually just do ink annotation and then erase, rather than use that one copy and mark it up, do something wrong, and then have to somehow get another copy of the handout or the document or whatever. So there are definite advantages of using the pen if you're coupling it with things like OneNote and Office Lens. The other is actually using it to sign documents, which has come in handy a number of times for me, where I'm dealing with different types of paperwork and I need to actually sign off on documents. So I can just go up to here in Edge and select my pen color, and I can sign the document. But as you can see, very easy to erase, very easy to sign. You can save that PDF and then email it off to whoever you need. So if you're a person that's dealing with a lot of PDFs and you're signing them, this is excellent because you can have you sign it, you can have the other person sign it. So any kind of contract work or any PDF work, leave the printer at home. This is actually a very handy little device for doing work like that. One of the other uses is that the different Office programs have different functions built in for the buttons. So for example, in PowerPoint, a single press allows you to go to the next slide. Press and hold will actually allow you to go back, which is a really, really handy feature when you're giving presentations, because you can have the tablet in your hand, or you can have it docked, connected through Miracast, and you can just hit that button, move through your presentation, and you can also use the different tools and interactions with the pen to annotate your slides live, and it's actually a very, very handy little function. So if you are a person that's using Office, particularly PowerPoint, the pen also functions as that presenter remote, which does add a significant value cost if you've actually ever priced out those presenter remotes on their own. The other nice thing about the pen is, what you probably are aware of, is that there is a small quadruple A battery located inside the pen. Now, what you might not know is that when the pen is actually stored against the machine, the pen is off. So that means that the battery is not being drained. So even though it says, I think on the packaging somewhere, you can expect to get a year or more out of the battery, in my use, because I'm not using it 24/7 and it's not detached from its little cradle there, I'm actually getting significantly more battery power. In fact, the last time I checked, I'm still at 96 or 95% battery. Now, one small downside is to the pen being stored on the outside is it does come off in my bag on a semi-regular basis. So if you are worried about losing the pen, then what you might want to do is store the pen separately, but if you do, just remove the top and maybe store it in a little baggie. That way it won't think that it's on and be constantly searching for the Surface Book. Green light says that you're good to go and you've got pen input back and you're ready. So there's no real delay in startup. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that gives you a little bit of information on whether or not the pen is a necessary purchase. If you are not using it for art and if none of the situations that I've brought up really pique your interest, then you probably do not need this pen. It's one of those things that it's always shown in the marketing material. It's very tempting to be like, oh, I need that pen or my Surface experience isn't complete. To be brutally honest with you, it depends what you're using it for. Get it? Depends. All right. I hope you enjoy that sort of content. If you have any questions about the Surface Pen or the Surface Book 2, please feel free to either leave your questions down in the comments below. You can either check me out on Twitter. I am a little lonely, guys. So if you do have a Twitter account, make sure that you are following me over there. And if you do have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Curious Cat as well. That's just one more way that I can answer your questions. And I shall see you next time. One additional feature of the pen that I forgot to mention is that you can do what I like to call the Surface Book 2 pen flip. So what you do is if you're really, really bored in the meeting, you might just flip it up. And if you get really good at it, you can actually get it to do the whole 360. There you go. So if clicking a pen wasn't annoying enough to your colleagues, you got a brand new one. And for those of you that have metal rings like I do, you can really freak people out by holding the pen in your hand like it's magic.